A perfect example today of how your pacing strategy can make or break your parkrun performance. Kia ora team, I'm Coach Ray. I am a running coach who specialises in coaching beginner and recreational athletes to achieve their sporting as well as their health and fitness goals. In today's parkrun progress report, we're going to be analysing the performance of Willem Young in a Pegasus parkrun in August last year. Now, Willem is a very talented junior runner, and you'll see if we scroll through the results for Pegasus that his name often pops up as the first male finisher, and his PB on the 23rd of August last year, it was actually the second place finisher, only just behind Hannah in this instance. We'll dive into his results in a little bit more detail. And this is exceptional pacing from a junior runner. His opening split of 3:35, his second kilometre of 3:36, his third of 3:35, and then 3:37 before finishing holding a 3:40 pace for the final segment recorded on Strava. That's only a 5-second spread across the entire 5 kilometres. For context, many experienced adult runners struggle to keep their splits within 10 to 15 seconds. Willem kept them inside 5 seconds. That's outstanding pacing discipline, particularly for a junior athlete. That's essentially an even split race. What we're seeing here is not really a negative split or a positive split, it's true even pacing. The small drift into the 5th kilometre of 3:40 is completely normal and expected. Almost every well-paced 5K will show nearly identical early kilometres and then a slight fade in the final kilometre. The key point is that the fade is tiny. In fact, with Willem, it's minuscule. This tells us he judged the pace almost perfectly. The first kilometre was very well judged. A lot of fast runners make their biggest pacing mistake in the opening kilometre. They go out 5 to 10 seconds too quick. Willem didn't. Opening with a 3:35 and holding that pace for 3 kilometres shows excellent self-control, good race awareness, and confidence in his fitness. That's very mature execution for a young runner. The heart rate profile in red there supports that pacing. Even without split-by-split data, the general pattern matters. There's a gradual heart rate climb through the 5Ks. There's no early spike. It peaks late in the run. That's exactly what you want to see in a well-paced 5K. The small dip here around the 1 kilometre mark is almost certainly a sensor artifact rather than a physiological event. If that dip weren't there, the heart rate curve would be a clean, progressive rise. That reinforces the idea that Willem ran this at a well-controlled, sustainable threshold effort. His cadence, in pink down here, is stable and efficient. Cadence sits between 158 and 164 is interesting. For a runner going sub 18 minutes, some athletes run closer to the high 170s or low 180s, but cadence is heavily influenced by height, stride length, and biomechanics. The important point is the consistency that Willem displays. Because cadence stayed stable across the run, we can infer that there was no late race breakdown in mechanics, stride rhythm remained relaxed, and fatigue did not cause overstriding or shuffling. That's another sign of exceptional execution. Now, Willem has got a total of 89 parkruns under his belt. He's ran a few of those since this performance that we're analysing. It shows experience beyond his years. Even though Willem is a junior, he has that experience of 89 parkruns, with 53 of them being at Pegasus. That's a lot of race experience, and it shows. The pacing pattern looks exactly what you'd expect from someone who understands the course and knows how to distribute his effort over the 5 kilometres. Consistency across the weeks. I've mentioned that Willem was the first male finisher for multiple consecutive weeks, and that tells us a few things. He has good repeatability of performance. His training load was likely consistent at the time. He was in a very stable fitness phase. That kind of streak usually indicates a runner who is well within their capacity, rather than producing one-off peak efforts. The only minor signal in the data, and if we look really closely, the only pattern we see is perfectly steady first 3 kilometers and then a slight dip in those final kilometers. That suggests the effort was probably very close to optimal, maybe even slightly aggressive for the final kilometer, but the fade is so small that it's basically ideal pacing model. My overall interpretation, if I had to summarize this run in a single line, it would be, this is a textbook example of how to pace a fast 5 kilometer. His strengths were excellent pacing discipline, stable cadence and mechanics, and smooth heart rate progression. He has strong competitive consistency. It's not flashy or chaotic, it's calm, controlled, and highly effective. The coaching takeaway and the biggest lesson from Willem's run is actually a simple one. Fast times usually come from calm pacing, not aggressive starts. For a young runner to execute that so well is impressive, and it explains why he was able to repeatedly finish as the first male runner at Pegasus. Call to action. If you found this analysis helpful, imagine what a structured 4-week plan could do for your running. Hit the link down below in the description to get started.